Hello, and thanks again for the opportunity to come before you all and speak about Emergency 101. Basically, this video, this production put on by Station 3 B Shift is going to be comical, but very informational. These folks have worked really hard on presenting the information, making sure that all of you understand the importance of knowing fire safety, basic medical safety for yourself at home in the event of an emergency. With the unfortunate events of what's happened over the last couple of months with the tornado and the heavy snow amounts that we've got, it's always good to know how to maintain a level of safety at your own residence prior to the need for 911 or the ability for us to arrive in a timely manner due to inclement weather. We feel like that this information, again, is going to be provided, is going to be very vital to what's going to happen going forward. So without further delay, here is Station 3 B Shift and another Hendersonville Fire production.
Welcome to Hendersonville House 3. I'm Matt Stringer, and I'm here with the Hendersonville Fire Department, and today we're going to talk to you about being safe in your home. We're going to cover a wide criteria of different topics, including smoke detectors, space heaters, overloaded outlets, dryer vents and dryers, cooking fires, different types of extinguishers, sleeping with your doors closed, and medical attention. What is too much for you to handle at home, and knowing when you need to call someone, like us. So from our house to yours, come join us. Now we want to talk about smoke detectors. Smoke detectors are the most important thing that you can have in your home. It gives you early detection in case there is an emergency, you know how to get out of the house. You need to have a smoke detector in each bedroom, the hallway, the living room, and if you have a garage, in the garage. The smoke detector is the best way to help keep you and your family safe in case you do have a fire. So now that we know we have smoke detectors in our house, when do you need to change the batteries? We prefer you to change the batteries twice a year, one at each time change. But if you can't do that, at least do it once a year. Now, how do you need to change your smoke detector battery? The safest way possible is to get a ladder. Don't try to stand in a chair. We're in here with our smoke detector, and I'm going to show you how to change the batteries. All you have to do is get to your smoke detector, and usually you just untwist it and pull it off. If it is hardwired to your house, you'll have to unplug the back and able to have it in your hand. Once you get it out, pull it out and change your batteries. This particular one takes 2 AA's. A lot of them will take the square 9 volts. While you have your smoke detector down, also turn it over on the back and look at the expiration date. Smoke detectors have an expiration date of about 10 years. So every 10 years, you should check your smoke detectors and make sure they're still in date. If not, you'll get that annoying chirp all the time, even if you do change the batteries. Now that you have your batteries changed, it's easy, just put it back up. Now we got it changed. It's good for another at least 6 months or the next time change. The worst thing in the world is to be sleeping at night and hear that annoying battery going off because you forgot to change the batteries. But remember, if you can't get to your smoke detector safe, just give someone a call, the fire department or an electrician, and we can come out there and help you change them. Thanks. According to the National Fire Protection Association, NFPA, 74% of all U.S. fire deaths occur in homes. As you notice from the pie chart, civilian fire deaths by incident type and occupancy year 2020, 64% of those come from 1 or 2 family dwelling homes, while 10% come from apartments. Another 1% from other residentials, which could be modular home, a trailer, or an RV. That's a death rate of 7.1 deaths per 1,000 people in the year 2020. Overall, local fire departments respond to an estimated 1,388,500 fires in 2020, resulting in 3,500 civilian deaths, 15,200 civilian injuries, and $21.9 billion in direct property damage. At the local level, fire fatalities and mortality rates in Tennessee, as of December 20th, 2021, 88 accidental or undetermined civilian structure fire fatalities have been reported for the year 2021. Oh, man. So nice and toasty in here. I dozed off a little bit. Speaking of nice and toasty, one thing we need to talk about is space heaters. They're great for warming up a house or an individual room, but they can also be dangerous. What do I mean by that? Having anything placed too close to your space heater, where it can make that object get too hot and catch on fire, or if something falls off in front of it. A good rule of thumb is if you want to use a space heater, make sure nothing within 3 foot perimeter, 3 to 5 foot perimeter around that space heater. Therefore, you're not endangering yourself by having something catch on fire. But they sure are nice and toasty when they're working right. So, space heater, leave it space. As you notice from this bar graph, leading causes of home structure fires in the years 2015 through 2019, cooking fires were predominantly the most at 49%, followed by heating equipment, electrical disruption and lighting equipment, intentional, and smoking materials. If you notice on the right, you'll see that fires are located in blue, civilian deaths are located in yellow, and civilian injuries are located in red. Cooking incidences had a loss of life of 20%, followed by heating equipment at 18, electrical at 16, intentional at 15, and smoking materials at 23. Another thing that's often overlooked inside your home is power supplies. So anything that you have to plug in, you obviously know what a power supply is. But the mistake that most people make is they plug too many things inside one power strip. Here's an example. We have a power strip, 3 plugs in it. Now, is it overloaded, that plug? You know, I'm not an electrician. I don't know. However, it does look like it's overloaded to me. Get into voltage and amperage and all that stuff, that's out of my scope. However, try to eliminate as many things as possible plugged into one outlet. If you put too many things in one outlet, there's a possibility that it's going to melt the power strip, it's going to heat up the plug, it's going to start an arc, which in turn starts a fire if it don't trip your breaker first. So do me a favor, don't plug too many things into one outlet. It's just asking for trouble. Trust me, I know. Hey, got me doing a little laundry. Speaking of laundry, this is a dryer, your laundry room, okay? if you come through your house, you've been doing laundry and you start smelling something kind of funny, you're like, what is something smells like it's on fire? And you track it down to the dryer and you're like, you open it up, you see flames, or you might see smoldering clothes. Hey, shut your dryer. Shut your dryer. What I want you to do then is I want you to leave the room. Shut your laundry room door. That's going to keep the fire contained inside the dryer, inside that room. Then you go outside and call 911. We'll come, put it out, take your dryer outside, whatever we have to do. But now that I've got laundry in here, what you need to do, take it out, right? Well, if you're going to take it out, two things. Fold it now. If you're going to fold it later, put it back in the dryer. There's enough residual heat that's left inside the dryer, garments, that is so hot they could actually spontaneously combust and catch on fire. So if you take this load of towels and you go and you put them on your sofa and then you go and get a bite to eat, these can catch on fire, in turn catches your sofa on fire, in turn catches your house on fire. Bad day for everybody. So if you're not going to do the laundry now, fold it, just leave it in the dryer. In fact, I see our new guy coming. I'm fixing to make him fold his laundry. Hey, Jerry.
What's up?
Hey, when you get done with that, I need you to fold this laundry for me, okay?
Of course.
All right.
I'll put it in the jar before I left just for that reason.
All right. Speaking of that, when you get done with your laundry, make sure you clean your dryer vent out. It's not that hard. It doesn't dry your clothes. There's lint still in there. Dry it out. But just because you have a dryer vent tray doesn't mean it's going to catch all the lint. You may have to go outside and check your dryer vent trap outside. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here we are outside. This is our dryer vent. This is where all the hot air comes out. When the dryer's running, these little tabs flip up, allow the heat to come out, and the heat and moisture. You see here? See how there's some loose lint? Some of that lint gets past your dryer vent trap, and you have some in there. They have specialty companies, or you can buy the stuff yourself. You can actually take this off, and you can run a drill in there with a little bit, and it'll actually clean the whole ductwork out inside for your dryer vent. This also can catch on fire. So I would say every couple of months maybe, check your dryer vent, at least the outside, to make sure it's not full of lint. You want to reduce the possibilities of fire. Another area we want to talk about is fire safety in the kitchen. So if you're like me and my family and all of us, we like to spend a lot of our time in the kitchen cooking. But there's several things you need to be aware of, such as grease fires, oven fires. You always want to be careful inside the kitchen, and we're going to teach you how to be safe with what type of extinguisher to use in case you do have a fire in the kitchen. There may be a time when you forget that something's on the stove or in the oven. Oh no, you got a grease fire? One way to solve it, just put a lid over it. It's going to stop the oxygen from getting to the grease and contain the fire. But don't take any chances. If you're unable to do that, just get out of the house and call 911. Oftentimes, you may forget that there's something in the oven. You come to check it, you're like, oh no. You open it up, whoosh, fire. Relax. All you have to do is, if you notice that, is keep the oven door closed. Shut it off and call 911, and we'll come help you put it out or take out what's inside. So now that we're in the kitchen and everyone's out and done cooking, as you saw from the previous video, there was a little fire in the pot. All we did was cover it with a lid. You can do that and take the oxygen away from the fire and you'll have no issues. But please, only do that if you can do it safely. Put on an oven mitt and then place it over there and it'll snuff the fire out. So one point that I really want to drive home is if you do have a fire and it's a grease fire on your stove, never throw water on a grease fire. The only thing that's going to happen is you're going to make the fire that much bigger and it's going to go everywhere. However, if you do have a grease fire and you place the lid on it, it should go out, no problems. At least it's going to keep it from spreading. If it does spread, what are you going to do? It's a really good idea to have a fire extinguisher in your home, but you don't want to have a fire extinguisher anywhere around where you're actually cooking, because that's what's going to be on fire when you need a fire extinguisher. So you can place these in other places in your home. We keep ours under the sink. What type of fire extinguisher do you need? Well, here we have an ABC fire extinguisher. As you notice, it covers 3 classes of fires. This is usually a general all-purpose fire extinguisher that you can have in your home. If you're looking for just one specific type of fire extinguisher to put inside your kitchen for possible grease fires, I would suggest you go with a K fire extinguisher, Class K fire extinguisher. That is K like kangaroo. That's going to have an agent in it. When put on a grease fire, it turns the grease and oils into like a soap, and they're directly used for grease fires and grease fires only. So 2 points that I want to drive home: never throw water on a grease fire, and have your fire extinguisher somewhere in your kitchen. We talked earlier about closing your doors when you sleep at night or anytime you take a nap, and you're probably wondering, why do I need to shut my door? What's the importance of that? Well, studies show that by closing your door when you sleep, if there was a fire, that door has a fire rating long enough that can possibly save your life. So while I take a nap, watch this 3 short images of a house fire that Hendersonville made, and you tell me if you're going to sleep with your door open or closed. Here's an illustration of a house fire that Hendersonville Fire Department responded to. This is someone's living room. If you notice the total devastation that has happened in this room due to the house fire. If you look to the back, you'll notice that's a hallway. It's leading to a bedroom door. The chance of survivability in this room is 0%. Here's a view at the end of the hallway. See the charring on the door frame? You see the outside skin of the door starting to fall off due to the heat. Just beyond that door is a bedroom where you may be sleeping. Can you imagine if that fire had got into the bedroom? The chance of survivability in this hallway are 0% as well. Here's a picture inside that same bedroom down that hallway. It looks like someone's still living there now. 100% chance of survivability rate in this room. That's why we stress the importance of closing the door when you go to sleep. If you can't get out the door, you always have a window. Another topic I want to discuss today is having a safety plan. What is a safety plan? A safety plan is a safe way for you to get outside your home in case you do have a fire, knowing where to meet and how to get out. Remember, if one way's blocked, you got to know how to get out of another way. So those are some things that I want to talk about and show you. Also, how to check and see which is your best route to get out of the home. So you need to have 2 ways out of every room in your house, just in case one of those areas is blocked. For this scenario, we're going to pretend that we're in our bedroom, okay? So your door's shut, your smoke alarms are going off. What you're going to want to do is you want to get out and come over to your door. Since heat rises, you want to start at the top of your door and fill your door all the way down. If you don't have any heat behind this door, or you don't feel any heat behind this door, you can take a peek outside and see if it's clear. If it's clear, then just go out your door and get outside the house. If there is a lot of smoke in the hallway, you got to find your second way. Your second way is going to be a window. With our windows, we want to make sure they're not painted shut. They're definitely operational. They're not taped up with a lot of duct tape to keep the air from coming in and out in the wintertime. We want to make sure that we get the blinds out of the way. We want to open the window up, raise it up, and go ahead and jump out that way. We as humans are habit creatures. We eat the same foods, we sit the same places, we go in and out the front door, the back door, or the garage door. But keep in mind, knowing that we are creatures of habit, you got to think outside the box. You don't always have to go out one of your main doors in your home. If there's a true emergency, don't forget about the windows. That could save your life. So now that we're outside of the building, where do we go? I'm going to show you that right now. Keep in mind, not all fires are going to happen in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. Fires can happen at any point in the day. So it's key to know that each room of your house needs to have two ways out. If you're in the living room watching TV and someone forgot something in the kitchen and you notice your kitchen is on fire, well, guess what? You got to be able to get out of your living room. It could be the front door, it could be the back door, it could be the garage door. But just know, if one of those routes are blocked, you got to have a second way out. Now that we know you got to have two ways for sure out of every room in our house, I'm going to show you where you need to meet. Now that we've made it outside safely, you need to know where to go. This can be anywhere inside your yard, your neighbor's yards, wherever you and your family decide to meet. It could be the mailbox, it could be a big tree in the front yard, it could be beside the vehicles. It can be anywhere outside the home that you designate as your meeting place. There's two reasons to have a meeting place. One, everyone that's outside the house knows that the other family member is safe. If you are missing someone, you're able to tell the fire department when they show up, hey, my loved one's inside. I think they're in this area of the house. Second reason is, if everybody is there, that's fantastic. Everyone got out and got safe. But the important thing is once you go out and get out, you need to stay out. As hard as it is to want to go back inside for a pet, a blanket, a family member, it is important, it is imperative for you to stay outside. You're safe. Your family's safe. If there's someone inside, leave that to us. We have the gear and the training to go try to find them and get them out. So once you're outside, stay outside. You may be asking, hey, what if I live on the second story of my house or the third story of my house and it happens that there's a fire that breaks out and I'm upstairs? Well, if you can't go out downstairs conventional means like we always like to try to do, first thing you need to do is get to a room that has a window in it upstairs and shut the door. Isolate yourself in that bedroom. They do make fire ladders that you can have at your house. You can purchase them at many stores that you can raise your window and throw that fire ladder out. Well, if you don't have one of those, the best thing you can do is raise the window. You've isolated yourself from the smoke by shutting the door, and yell out the window. As we pull up, we're going to see you out that window and we're going to get a ladder to you and get you down. The only other alternative you have is if you want to jump. If you're able to stay in that safe haven like you saw earlier with the bedroom door shut, you should have enough time for us to get there and get you out safely down a ladder. Now we've made it safely outside, we're going to go to our meeting place. Our meeting place is going to be the garage. We're going to stay here and wait for everyone else to come out of the house because we've practiced this evacuation plan several times a month. We're going to wait here and wait for the fire department to show up. If someone should be missing, let whoever shows up from the fire department know that you have someone inside, and they will go inside and retrieve those people. Here at the fire department, we don't just run car fires and structure fires and gas leaks. We also run medical calls. Why do we run medical calls, you ask? We have 6 engine companies and 2 truck companies inside the city. We have 3 ambulances. When you call 911, you want someone there as fast as possible for your emergency. We have paramedics, advanced EMTs, and first responders on every apparatus in our city. Speaking of medical calls, there's 3 medical call types that I would like to talk about. One being chest pain and cardiac events. 2 is stroke and stroke-like symptoms. And 3, calls concerning the elderly community. The first thing we want to talk about is chest pain. If you have a sudden onset of chest pain, including sharp pains, stabbing pains, or pressure, you could be having a heart attack. Another sign is left jaw pain, left arm pain, back pain, even nausea and vomiting. Chest pain is one of those things that's different for each person. It's important that you call 911 if you start experiencing any of those symptoms. Females have a different reaction to cardiac events. They might not have any of those symptoms. They could just have back pain. If you're experiencing any of these, please be sure to dial 911. The next thing we want to talk about is stroke and stroke-like symptoms. It's very important that you recognize these symptoms because it could save your life. There's a few things that I want to talk about. If you're experiencing slurred speech, one-side weakness of the body, tingling, facial droopage, staggered gait, you could be having a stroke. The most important thing here is recognition. Time is very sensitive with a person who is having a stroke. There's an acronym that I would like you to try to remember. It's FAST, F-A-S-T. FAST stands for facial drooping, arm drift, slurred speech, and time. If you think your loved one is having a stroke, time is of the essence, so do not be afraid to call 911. Another one of our large call volumes is dealing with elderly patients, oftentimes from falls. So what happens is an elderly patient will fall in their home for some reason. Usually it's they trip over a rug, trip over a threshold. They could even trip over their oxygen tubing. Now these patients are a special case because a lot of our elderly patients are on blood thinners. If a patient should fall and they are on blood thinners, they could have internal bleeding that we are unaware of. So it's crucial that you call 911 upon a fall so we can get them checked out. Another sensitive subject, which is hard to talk about, is advanced care for your elderly loved ones. Sometimes you just don't have the ability to care for them. What is important to do is recognize the symptoms that patient, whether it be at home or at another advanced facility, have personnel with them all the time that can help meet their needs and keep them safe. Because after all, if you care for your loved ones, you want to make sure that they're taken care of. Thank you for watching the video today. We hope you learned something to keep you and your family safe. So from Hendersonville Station 3, B Shift, stay safe.